Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate an angle to the race that might be a path to finding the winner. Well, it's the biggest day of the year in Hong Kong racing on Monday, Chinese New Year. Around the world, you might think the biggest day is International Day in December, but Chinese New Year, definitely bigger crowds, bigger turnover. It's a real feast for racing fans, and we've got 11 races on Monday as a result. Now, we're going to have a few very short price favourites too, and I often get asked to do some figures about which jockeys are best on short odds favourites. So I thought this might be a bit of an opportunity, a little segue, if you like, from our usual pattern. So here you can see a list of our current jockeys and their performances on rides under 2-1 or 3.0 in decimal odds since the start of the 2018-19 season, listed by the number of eligible rides, and I've added James McDonald too, as we're seeing him often flying in for these sorts of feature rides. Now, Zach Purton overwhelmingly has the most of these kinds of rides, with Sha Tin and Vincent Ho next. Now, you do see the names here of Purton and Ho twice, because quite a big chunk of Vincent's short price rides have, of course, been the champion Golden 60, which could skew his results. So where you see Vincent's name with an asterisk, those are his figures with Golden 60 removed. Although Purton's numbers are not as affected by a single horse, for the sake of fairness, I've done the same with Lucky Swayness rides and removed those where you see Purton with an asterisk. Ho is the standout performer, even without Golden 60, but a key punting takeaway for Sunday might be Sha Tin's numbers. He wins 1 out of 3 short-priced horses, but short of the market expectations on the right-hand side there. So back to Monday's racing, and the first race I'm going to take a look at is race 10, where our winning factor is the Rising Star. This is a terrific Class 2 over 1,200 metres, featuring probably the most exciting horse in Hong Kong at present, Galaxy Patch. Now, he's headed for the top, but a measure of this race is that it won't be any pushover. I think there are other strong chances here in Packing Treadmill and Flying Ace, returning from group runs, and right down in the weights, Lucky Encounter will also all give them something to think about. So we're going to approach this race slightly differently to usual, and first we're going to take a look back at a race on November 19, and this is a Class 2 where Packing Treadmill, Flying Ace and Lucky Encounter were betted by Helios Express. This is race 179, blue and white pink cap. Packing Treadmill jumps well and looks for the lead with Lucky Encounter in the red and purple colours, while Flying Ace from his wide gate in yellow goes back to the rear. Now on the heat map, it's just evenly run early with a sprint home. More on that in a minute. Packing Treadmill in front, Lucky Encounter outside him, but looking very keen and fighting his rider. And he weakens in the straight as Packing Treadmill slips clear, but then he finds giving Helios Express a lot of handicap weight too much, and he runs a gallant second with Flying Ace flashing up late for third. Now later the same day, Galaxy Patch bounced back to winning form after a defeat on the dirt at his second Hong Kong run. So this is race 185. He's blue and white and yellow, gate 10, and isn't the best away, which is his style, and gets well back in what is just an even speed, travelling strongly through the run and making ground through the middle stages before he comes dashing clear and going away to win comfortably. So because they're on the same day, same course, same distance, we can compare the times all those horses ran individually on the day. And you see here the individual times. Both Galaxy Patch and Flying Ace broke 44 seconds from the 800 metres to the finish, but handicapped closer on Sunday. Packing Treadmill wasn't too stressed getting the front and sprinted well at the finish, while Lucky Encounter was the least of the performances, but he did pull up with some vet issues that day. Now, since then, the Galaxy Patch has scored a booming Class 3 win on International Day before being sent out long odds on in another clash with Lucky Encounter on January 13. This time we're looking at race 339, Galaxy Patch, in those white, blue and yellow colours, drops back to the rear as usual. Lucky Encounter begins well, but doesn't want to get into a fight for the lead and ends up caught wide, a big disadvantage through the middle stages where you can see on the heat map the pressure was on. Galaxy Patch, however, is loving this setup. Sha Tin stays inside, waits for things to open up, and it's never in doubt once the run appears, and he comes clear again with no pressure, while Lucky Encounter boxes on for a distant third after his disadvantaged run. So both of those races, it should be noted that we didn't see Lucky Encounter at his best. But let's go to the map for Sunday's race. I don't think the pace here is crazy. Majestic Knight has plenty of speed and will look to lead. But Adzeni on Lucky Encounter has the option to lead on him or even sit behind rather than get into a duel. And I think the pace could be just average. Packing Treadmill, he'll be handy, but Galaxy Patch and Flying Ace will again drop back to the rear from wider draws. As we saw in the sectionals, they can run very fast from the 800 metres to the finish, but they'll certainly need to. The question is, how much of a head start are they giving from that point under their big handicap weights? But the tip from me has still got to be in race 10, Galaxy Patch. His winning factor, the Rising Star. He's a very exciting horse. As you can see there, we've identified some issues on the map and perhaps in Sha Tin's record on short-priced horses. However, I think they play less into whether you think he'll win and more into what price you want to take about him doing it. The other race I want to take a look at is, of course, the final race, race 11, where our winning factor is the map. This is a Class 3, 1400 metres. A number of runners bring good form and will have fans in the race. Blue Marlin, a last start winner at the course. Karma has won twice over the 1400 metres. The 3-year-old Storm Rider looks a very smart galloper on the way up, with wins at his last 2 starts. Superb Kid is another last start winner. He was in Class 4, rising in grade here, and Magnificent 9 has yet to win in Hong Kong, but has run only twice and put the writing on the wall last start over 1200 metres. But the key ones of those horses for me are Superb Kid, Magnificent 9 and Storm Rider. So let's take a look at what form they are bringing to this race. Firstly, race 340, Gate 5 Aqua Colours is Magnificent 9, and he begins well, but you can see there I Give working to the lead in the white colours, and typical of that horse, there's good early speed, which ramps up to fast speed through the middle stages. Magnificent 9 certainly doesn't have the pace to go with them, travels well, emerges in the stretch to make a bid, but though he keeps coming steadily, the leader is just too quick. He looks like he's going to appreciate the step up to 1400 metres, Magnificent 9, while our other 2 main chances have already done well over the distance, winning their last starts. Let's take a look at them. Firstly, race 355, Gate 8 with purple and pink sleeves is Superb Kid, and he isn't the fastest out of the gates, but Hugh Bowman is in no hurry anyway, and he gets to a good spot behind midfield, enjoys what is a good consistent speed, and when produced in the straight, he comes out from behind Sunlight Power, finishes strongly to overpower that horse and win the race. And of course, Sunlight Power we saw last week win his next start, so that gives some confirmation to that form. Now later on that day, we saw also tackling 1400 metres for the first time was Storm Rider. This is in Class 3, it's race 360, he's Gate 11 with blue and grey colours and jumps well for Zach Burton here, who lets the speedy leader Hong Kong Hall bring him across and then takes a position outside him. But you see on the heat map, those first 2 sectionals are faster than average, so Storm Rider is doing some work to be there. The pace comes off a little around the circle though, leaving him something to finish the race off with, and he's able to hold out the challenges over the final stages. An excellent win from the baby of the field in that race, and he's also one of only 2 3-year-olds in Sunday's race. But I think the key to this race is certainly the map. It's our winning factor, and let's take a look at why. Once again, Storm Rider has drawn wide and will have some work to do pushing forward and across, but with Super Winner and E-Legend as the other possible leaders. So there is a little bit of pressure on there. The other chance we've been looking at, Superb Kid, also draws out, but we know he gets back, while Karma lacks speed altogether and is likely right out the back. Blue Marlin gets a nice run, but he has to concede £13 in the handicaps to Magnificent 9, who should sit closer this time in a kinder pace over the extra distance. So the tip from me in race 11 is Magnificent 9. His winning factor, the map. Yes, there are quite a few bringing good form here, but Magnificent 9, he's got the lightweight and he has map advantages over most of his rivals. Well, that's it for the winning factor this week. Kung E Fat Choi. Enjoy Monday's racing. We'll see you next time.